Do you need help with structuring your paragraphs? I'm going to talk you through how to do that to hit all the skills. Here is a basic paragraph structure that you can follow. It hits the AO1 through your point and explanation. You get AO2 marks for your application back to the question, and you get your AO3 through analysis and evaluation. So reading the question carefully, you can see it's asking you to refer to item A. If you don't, you will be capping your marks at 3. It's looking for 2 effects of labelling, and that's what you're looking for in the item to start your paragraphs off. And you want to know what is the effect on working class pupils. There is marks for analysis, but there's also marks for evaluation too. So we're going to start our answer with referring directly to the question with our point. The effect of labelling is that it affects the way that pupils see themselves, and that is our quote from the item, and I've highlighted it there. And the student explains what this means, and they talk about this idea of the ideal pupil. You could reference Becca here, and they explain what the ideal pupil is. And they explain that the ideal pupil is a middle class student. They do reference other characteristics, but because this question is asking about class, it's ideal to focus just on that. And they explain that these students are labelled positively, and students that don't fit it are labelled negatively, and this leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy. So this is where we're starting to see the effect, and this effect is going to impact their achievements. So now we're going to show application, because we're going to link it back to the question, what is the effect of this labelling on our working class students? And we are going to use a very clear statement. This affects the working class as they're more likely to be labelled negatively as they do not fit the image of the ideal pupil. Here you could mention that the reason why they don't fit the image is because possibly of material deprivation, they don't have the correct equipment or uniform, or you could reference a bit of cultural deprivation because they don't speak in the way that the school expects them to. They might speak in the restricted code, for example. They then undergo this negative self-fulfilling prophecy, which then leads to their underachievement. So this is our application here. This is the effect of the labelling. They believe that they're stupid and they don't achieve in education. This then student shows analysis, because we then compare this to our middle class students. They're more likely to be labelled positively, and again you could reference the fact that they might have cultural capital, they might have economic capital, which means that they look the part, they sound the part, and as a result they achieve more than the working class. So we've got that comparison, and they have a positive self-fulfilling prophecy. And then we end our paragraph with our evaluation. So a really popular evaluation of the labelling process is that it's determinist. Not all students will succumb to the self-fulfilling prophecy. Some fight against the labels and achieve, and we reference here Fuller's girls. Now I know Fuller's girls were black girls, but they were also working class black girls, so they would be credited in an answer like this. So overall, we've got a very clear paragraph. It hits everything that the question is asking. It's got the quote from the item. It's got a clear effect of labelling. It talks you through the process. It applies to working class pupils and their underachievement. It shows analysis because it compares it to the middle class. And remember, there is marks for evaluation. That paragraph on its own might even achieve 6 or 7 marks without a second paragraph.